October 2010, Norfolk, Virginia. I was 20 years old, fresh out of engineering school. 5 months of training that felt like 5 years. Wake up at 0500, lights out at 2200. Every minute accounted for. The Navy doesn't ease you in, it drowns you. And if you can swim, you stay. If you can't, you wash out. I could swim. Got stationed at Naval Station Norfolk, biggest naval base in the world. Ships everywhere, thousands of sailors, the smell of salt water and diesel fuel and paint, the constant sound of machinery, announcements over intercoms, boots on metal decks. As an engineer, time off was a myth. Most days I'd work 16 hours, grab 4 hours of sleep, shower in 3 minutes, and do it again. But that one weekend in late October, I had liberty. Duty-free weekend. Work finished by 1800, which meant I didn't have to report back until Monday at 0700. 41 hours of freedom. My roommate, Stevens, had duty that weekend, stuck on the ship. My other friend, Marcus, was on leave visiting family, which left me with John. John was a good guy, quiet, thoughtful, the kind of person who'd listen more than talk. We'd gone through A school together, ended up stationed on the same ship by coincidence. He suggested we drive around Norfolk, get off base, see something other than gray ships and concrete piers. Let's just explore, he said. Find somewhere peaceful. Peaceful. In a military town. Good luck. But we tried. We drove for maybe an hour. Past bars packed with sailors, past tattoo shops and pawn shops and churches that looked like they'd been there since the Civil War. Norfolk at night has this particular quality, old and new layered on top of each other. Revolutionary War memorials next to modern strip malls. History and present existing side by side, neither quite winning. It was close to midnight when we found it. A rose garden, public, open, gates unlocked. There, John said, pointing. Let's check it out. We parked on the street, walked in. The garden was small but well maintained. Rows of rose bushes, most of them done blooming for the season. A few late flowers still hanging on, dark red in the street-light glow. And at the edge of the garden, maybe 50 yards in, stood a memorial, an obelisk, maybe 12 feet tall. Dark stone, granite probably, engraved with names, veterans, wars going back decades. It had lights mounted at its base, bright spotlights pointing up, illuminating the stone and the American flag flying above it, the kind of lighting that ensures the flag never flies in darkness per code. Woodland Memorial Gardens, John read from a plaque, dedicated to those who served. We walked toward it, quiet, respectful. Even though we were young and off-duty and just looking for a place to sit, something about the memorial commanded reverence. Our boots crunched softly on the gravel path. The night was cool, but not cold. Comfortable. The kind of weather that makes you want to stay outside. We got maybe 30 feet away from the obelisk when I saw him.
A man, sitting on the ground, back against the memorial base, legs stretched out in front of him. He wore faded Veens, old sneakers, Reebok or Nike, the cheap kind you get at discount stores, and a gray hoodie. Hood pulled up, drawstrings tied so it cinched around his head. He was smoking a cigarette. I stopped walking. Here's what was wrong. We'd been walking toward that memorial for at least 2, maybe 3 minutes, clear line of sight the entire way, and I hadn't seen anyone there. But now, suddenly, there he was, like he'd materialized. I nudged John, whispered, "Do you see him?" John nodded slowly, eyes fixed on the figure. "Yeah, I see him." We kept walking, got closer. The man didn't move, didn't acknowledge us, just sat there perfectly still, cigarette held loosely in his hand. We stopped, maybe 3 feet away, close enough to be social, far enough to be respectful of personal space. "Hey," I said, "how you doing?" His head tilted slightly toward us, the hood shifted. "I'm good," he said. His voice was normal, pleasant even. "And you?" "We're good," John replied. "Just walking around. Nice night." "Yeah, it is," the man said. He raised the cigarette to his mouth, took a drag. The ember glowed orange. And that's when I saw it. Or rather, didn't see it. The memorial lights were bright, very bright, powerful LED floods pointed upward, but spilling enough ambient light that you could read a book if you wanted to. We were standing 3 feet from this man, in full illumination, and I couldn't see his face. Not because the hood was too dark, not because of shadow. There was just nothing there. Under the hood, where his face should be, was only void, pure darkness, like the light was being absorbed instead of reflected. I couldn't see the whites of his eyes, couldn't see teeth when he spoke, couldn't see skin. Just emptiness. And his hand, the hand holding the cigarette, I couldn't see it either. The cigarette was there, floating, glowing, positioned exactly where a hand should be holding it, but no fingers, no skin, no bones. Like a shadow had learned to smoke. I looked at John. His face had gone very pale. He saw it too. "Well," I said, trying to keep my voice steady, "have a good night." "You too," the figure said, still pleasant, still conversational. We walked away, not running, not fleeing, just leaving, deliberately, purposefully. We walked maybe 30 feet to a large oak tree at the edge of the garden, sat down on the grass beneath it, backs against the trunk. "Did you—" John started. "Yeah, no face, no hands. What the fuck was that?" I didn't answer, couldn't answer. We sat there for maybe a minute, maybe less, just catching our breath, processing. Then I looked back at the memorial. The man was gone.
Not walking away, not getting up, not moving. Just gone. We would have seen him stand, would have heard footsteps on gravel, would have noticed movement. But between the moment we sat down and the moment we looked back, maybe 60 seconds, he had vanished completely. The memorial stood empty, flags waving gently, lights illuminating nothing but stone. "We need to go," John said quietly. I agreed. We left, drove back to base in silence. Neither of us slept well that night. 2 days later, I was standing watch.
In the Navy, junior personnel have to stand watch under supervision until they're qualified to do it alone. You need someone to sign off on your watch qual card, prove you know what you're doing. I was standing watch with Petty Officer Chen, older guy, been in for 8 years, knew everyone, knew everything. We were doing rounds, checking spaces, making sure nothing was flooding, burning, or otherwise catastrophic. During a quiet moment, I told him the story. About the memorial, the rose garden, the man with no face. Chen stopped walking. Just stopped, mid-stride, in the middle of a passageway. "What color hoodie?" he asked. His voice had changed, gone flat. "Gray," I said. "Did you see his face?" "No, that's the whole point. There was no face." Chen was quiet for a long moment. "Did you see him?" I asked. "Have you seen this thing?" "Not in person," he said slowly. "But a friend of mine took a picture. Last year, at a different memorial in Norfolk. Same figure, gray hoodie, walking past the camera. When he looked at the photo later, the face was just empty, void." My blood went cold. "What is it?" I asked. "What is that thing?" Chen glanced around, made sure we were alone. He said, "Some people call it the Seeker. It shows up at memorials, veteran cemeteries, places where the dead are honored. Nobody knows what it wants. But people say it's looking for someone." "Looking for who?" "That's the thing. Nobody knows. Maybe someone specific. Maybe anyone who sees it. But everyone who's encountered it says the same thing. It's searching, waiting, like it's on duty, same as us." "Has anyone—" I didn't finish the question. "Has anyone been taken? Disappeared?" "Yeah." Chen's face was grim. "Not many. Not provably connected. But enough that people talk about it. Enough that you don't go to memorials alone at night anymore." We finished the watch in silence. That night, alone in my rack, I kept seeing that empty hood, that cigarette held by invisible hands. And I wondered, had it seen me? Had it marked me somehow? Was it still searching? Or had it found what it was looking for?
Over the next few weeks, I asked around. Carefully. Quietly. Turns out, the Seeker isn't unique to Norfolk. A guy from San Diego told me about a similar figure at Fort Rosecrans National Cemetery. Different clothes, BDU jacket instead of hoodie, but same absence of features. A woman from Pearl Harbor described something identical sitting on a bench at the USS Arizona Memorial, after hours, when no tourists should be there. Someone from Great Lakes mentioned it appearing at a memorial park during their A school. Always at military memorials, always at night, always smoking, always alone, and always when you looked away for just a moment, it was gone. I started researching. Found forums, old Navy message boards, Reddit threads that had been deleted but archived. The stories went back decades, 1990s, 1980s. Some references that might go back to Vietnam, maybe even Korea. The Seeker has been appearing for at least 50 years, maybe longer. And here's what I learned. It's not looking for random people. It's looking for specific people. People who are about to die in service, or people who should have died but didn't.
like it's checking a list, verifying identities, making sure the living and the dead are properly accounted for. Several people who encountered the seeker died within a year. Training accidents, equipment failures, deployments gone wrong. Not all, but enough. And others, people who saw it and didn't die, reported feeling like they had been marked, cataloged, remembered, like something was keeping track of them, waiting. It's been 13 years since that night in the Rose Garden. I'm out of the Navy now. Honorable discharge, civilian life, normal job, normal apartment. But I still think about the seeker. Because here's what keeps me awake. I saw it. John saw it. We both looked directly at that empty hood, that void where a face should be. And it spoke to us. Acknowledged us, confirmed our existence, which means it knows we saw it, which means it knows about us. And I wonder, was it searching for us specifically, or were we just witnesses to its vigil? Did it mark us that night? Are we on some cosmic roster waiting for our names to be called? Or did we pass by unnoticed, just two young sailors on liberty, irrelevant to whatever mission it was conducting? I wish I knew, because there's a part of me, a part I don't like to acknowledge, that expects to see it again, that expects to wake up one night and find that gray hood standing beside my bed, those invisible hands reaching for me, that void face staring down, coming to collect whatever it was searching for, coming to confirm that my name matches the one on its list. John left the Navy 3 years after that night. Last I heard, he's living in Montana, married, kids, normal life. Petty Officer Chen retired, moved to Florida. I lost touch with him. But I wonder if they think about it too, if they still check memorials when they pass them, looking for that gray hoodie, that impossible figure. If they wonder, like I do, whether seeing the seeker was a warning or a sentence, whether we're marked or lucky or both.
The thing about the seeker is that it's patient. It appears, it observes, it leaves, and then it waits. Maybe for years, maybe for decades. But it's waiting because it's not human, doesn't operate on human time, doesn't have a lifespan or a schedule. It just searches and searches and searches until it finds who it's looking for. And here's the question that haunts me. What happens when it finds them? Does it just observe, confirm, check a name off a list? Or does it do something else, something that people who disappear never get to report? I don't know. And I hope I never find out. If you're military, active duty, veteran, reserves, and you've seen the seeker, leave a comment. Describe what you saw, where, and when. If you've encountered something similar at a memorial, cemetery, or veteran space, your story matters. Share it. We need to document this, figure out the pattern, understand what it wants. Subscribe for more military horror stories, real encounters from real service members. Hit the notification bell, because if there are updates, if the seeker is seen again, I'll report it here. And if you're reading this and you've seen that gray hoodie, you're not crazy. You're not alone. It's real, and it's still searching. Stay safe out there. And if you see it, don't engage, don't follow. Just walk away and hope it wasn't looking for you.